Hello, Jaguar friends. Mrs. Bannister here. I am so excited to be with you all for our second week of distance learning. I know this is so different than what most of us are used to, but we, as the teachers and the adults in the building, recognize what a great job you all are doing of being flexible, being persistent, and being patient with each other and with teachers as we learn how to do this also. This week, we are going to spend some time starting our social emotional lessons. Last week you got to know me a little bit. You got to see my family and my animals and where I grew up and where I learned to be a school counselor. I've been a counselor for a very long time, actually, close to 17 years. This is my first year with you all though, and I am so excited to be here. So I'm learning too. So we're all learning at Jaguar. This week, I'd like you to visit my website. I'm going to show you my website right now. Some of you may be struggling with getting into Good Morning Friends, my morning group, which is held on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right before your class meeting. Please join me, folks. I'm lonely in there. I know that I posted the wrong Zoom link, and that's me learning how to do this as an online counselor. This week, it is perfect. So please join me when you can. It's only from 8 to 8:15, and every morning I have a small little thing for you to think about as you go through your day as a Jaguar. Working on the basics is a good idea. And one basic social skill is listening. Now, just because it's basic doesn't mean it's easy. Even adults work on their listening skills. I, as a teacher and a counselor, I work on my listening skills. You, as a student and a learner, work on your listening skills too. That's how we can be better friends. If I'm a good listener to you and you're a good listener to me, we will do better together. Today, I'd like to share with you something that might be familiar to you. Up in the corner, you will see a picture of Mona Lisa. Some of you may remember that I've used Mona Lisa in the past as sort of like a listening game when I'm teaching lessons in your classroom. I'm not going to use Mona Lisa for that reason during Zoom meetings because that gets a little bit funny with the mute and the unmute thing. For now, I'd like to use Mona Lisa as a visual reminder of what a good listener looks like. Now, all of us look different when we're listening, and we have to recognize that difference, and that's okay. But Mona Lisa is a good visual reminder of what we can all strive to be like. So let me tell you the 3 things I like about Mona Lisa, and I'm sure some of you may remember them. So we're going to start with her eyes. Mona Lisa has listening eyes. Her eyes look like they are looking at the speaker. When we're in the classroom and I have my picture of Mona Lisa hanging up, we actually try to notice that, how it actually really looks like she's looking at the speaker. We can't do that so much now, and you as 4th and 5th graders can use your imagination to picture that. I ask that you use your imagination now. Are your eyes on the speaker? Are you paying attention with your eyes to me? Thank you. So, those are listening eyes. The second thing that makes Mona Lisa a good listener is she has a still body. Now, during Zoom meetings, this can be kind of hard. I've been part of some 4th grade meetings already, and I notice, even for myself, that I feel a little extra wiggly during Zoom meetings because it's so much computer time. I really think that's natural. We're not in our normal learning environments, so we need to give ourselves some grace with that. At the end of this video, I'm going to share with you a few tips that might help with that, but for now, we have to challenge ourselves. Okay, we have to challenge ourselves so that we can be the best learners we can be to have a still body. Do you notice how she is very, very calm looking? Notice her listening eyes and her still body. Great. Now I'd like to show you and tell you about the 3rd aspect of Mona Lisa that makes her a good listener, and that is her listening mouth. This is an important part of listening. Yes, a listening mouth. A listening mouth is a closed mouth. A listening mouth is one that doesn't open to interrupt. A listening mouth is one that waits patiently and listens authentically to the speaker. So that speaker might be your teacher, it might be a friend or a classmate, and a listening mouth waits quietly until it is your time to speak. And I noticed that Mona Lisa has a listening mouth. She's also kind of smiling, so she's happy to be there. Just like I'm happy to be with you guys. So, listening eyes, still body, listening mouth. Those are the three aspects of Mona Lisa that, in my opinion, make her a good example of a listener. Now, you may remember the game that we would play where I would call out Mona and you would say Lisa, and that would bring us all back together during our lessons and refocus us. Well, right now, I'm not going to ask you all to do that. We're in such an exceptional circumstance that it's okay. I'm just going to ask for your best effort. So, for now, I'd like for you to kind of keep that picture of Mona Lisa in your mind when you're starting a Zoom meeting. Kind of start with that intention of, this is my visual reminder of good listening. I've heard wonderful conversations in morning meetings already about what it means to be a good listener. And I would just like to add to that conversation with the Mona Lisa image. Now, with the wiggles, because I struggle with them too, I just have a few tips. And this isn't a rule, this is just some ideas. So, because we're stuck in, the computer world for quite a bit more time than we've ever been before, one way you can work through your wiggles, because you're probably not taking as many physical breaks as you would if you were in the building, is by using a fidget. Now, fidgets don't have to be complicated. Here is mine. Yes, it's a hair tie. I use a hair tie. I put a hair tie on my wrist, and while I'm in a meeting, if I'm feeling kind of fidgety, I just pull on it. Nobody notices that I'm using a fidget. In fact, if I look like I'm fidgeting, I probably need to find a new fidget because I don't want to distract others. My body still needs to be still. So you can use a hair tie. Another idea is to take your writing utensil, a pen or a pencil, and just fidget with that under the screen. I bet you don't know that I'm fidgeting right now. This can help with our listening and our focus, especially for those of us, and I am one of them, who likes a lot of movement in the day. So using a fidget can be helpful. My second tip is, this one's really kind of basic. Water. Drinking water. You say, Mrs. Bannister, what does water have to do with listening? It doesn't have a lot to do with listening. It has a lot to do with movement. Okay, because if we drink lots of water, it forces us to get up and use the restroom. And getting up and moving around and taking a little break and taking care of our body and our brain by drinking water is good for us too. So, fidgets, water, those can help reset us and bring us to the ideal place we can be as a learner. So, today we learned about listening. We learned about taking care of movement in our bodies. I'm sure Mr. Phillips has some awesome ideas also. And please feel free to join me in my Good Morning Friends, and I hope to see you all next week for another lesson. Take care, everybody. Bye.